Hello, Lisa Vento Nielsen here from The Next Step, making a video to build off of the content that I put out there on my blog. And I'm definitely doing this in many different ways. I'm using KnowMe to make quick videos on the fly, and I'm using my home studio to make the more detailed videos. So today I'm here to talk about the blog post that I recently posted about entrepreneurial hacks to use towards your career in corporate America. And basically, I think this is something that is so important because we do run the risk of becoming complacent or thinking that our company will know where we belong or will help us get to where we want to go. And sometimes the careers, and the fact of the matter is that a lot of times the companies are not really built that way. They're not built to get you to where exactly you belong, because you really have to identify that. And I think so much about my career has been built on the fact that I've been entrepreneurial since 2002. And I talk a lot about this on my blog in terms of the changes that have happened in technology and the ways in which it has made it so much easier to launch and run a business really from anywhere in the world. And it really is an amazing time to be an entrepreneur. But there's no reason why you can't use entrepreneurial skill sets and apply it to your career in corporate America or wherever it is that you work. And I think it's really important because for a lot of us, we kind of shy away from being an entrepreneur because it is risky. There's a lot of failure. You don't know what will happen next. But it's also an exciting thing to do. At least for me it is, since I've been doing it for so many years. And the idea is that there's a lot of lessons that I can teach you, and I'm using this video as one way to do so, for you to be able to take these entrepreneurial skill sets and apply them to your career. So again, the idea is that you need to know what it is that you want to do. So one of the first things I talk about in the blog post is having your plan. What it is that you really want to do and where it is you want to go. And I just want to say before we get into these hacks is that a big part of what's been going on in the media lately is that we keep hearing about technology. And although I've mentioned about how technology has helped me to run this business, it might not be so helpful to you in your career, particularly for the women who are watching this video. Again, when you think about what's been talked about in terms of technology taking over jobs that are in customer service, that are in banking, that are in admin positions, these are all primarily areas where you see a lot more women than men. Of course, it also applies to men, as there are a lot of jobs that have been taken away due to technology for them as well. But this next wave of technological improvements in terms of robots, in terms of all of these different skill sets that are being built into artificial intelligence, and all of these different ways in which the cost of these things are falling, you are approximately going to see about 5 million jobs that disappear within the next 4 years. And those jobs are primarily the ones that I mentioned in customer service, in banking, in admin positions. So for so many of you, it is so important to stay ahead of the curve and to understand how to diversify yourself to be ready for your next step. And I would be amiss if I did not talk about my seminars coming up at Wagner College Office for Lifelong Learning, where I'm going to really teach people how to identify and become project managers. It's a way for you to diversify your skill set and be ready for if and when the technology overlords come in and take away what used to be very viable job opportunities for not just women but also men to be able to have a career. So it's something for you to think about, and for $99 at Wagner College, it gives you that exposure to a new skill set and gets you on the road to potentially protecting yourself from what technology might be taking away. So again, to get back to the blog post, and I'm going to talk about learning again in a little bit, is to really talk about using entrepreneurial skills to help you build out your career. One of the most important things you could do is know where you want to go. Know what it is you want to do. Understand where you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years. I know it sounds really annoying to do all that planning, but it's really important. As an entrepreneur, I'm constantly thinking that way, and I applied that thought set to my careers as well. Where did I want to be? What did I need to learn in order to get there? These are all pieces that are so important. Do you want to stay in your industry? Do you want to stay at your company? Do you want to change industries or change companies? All of those things are important pieces that you need to be aware of and you need to stay on top of. And again, you can't just assume that, well, I'm employed right now, so I'm good. You have to always be thinking about 3 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now. That's the best way to stay competitive and to keep that hunger, which I used for an Instagram post. I'm actually using content from my blogs to create little posters that talk about all the different things that I'm sharing in my blog. So again, I'm really excited. I have over 200 people a day looking at my content, so I hope you're going to continue to be one of them to keep learning from me. So the next thing you always want to do is to learn. Nice segue there, right? You want to continue learning. You want to be at a point where you identify what it is you need to know and you get a plan in place to do it. And I already mentioned my seminars at Wagner College. A really good step for you is to do something that's low cost and low risk. Something that can really expand you, but in baby steps. You know, no one's saying you have to go back to school tomorrow and learn and get another master's or do something like that. The idea is just having that thirst for learning. I'm a lifelong learning person. I'm an educator. One day I may exactly have a doctorate, maybe. I started one. I'm one of those people. But the idea is that learning has always been so important to me. And I mentioned in a previous post about why going back to school to get your bachelor's degree is so important. Once you have a degree, it's yours. No one can take it away from you. You can't lose it. It's always yours. The same goes for any learning that you could do by reading, by attending seminars, by attending events, by understanding what it is that you need to know to get you to what you think is your next step is so important. And with that learning comes the identity or the idea of soft skills. Don't forget the soft skills. I want you all to learn how to code. It's very important. I want you all to learn all the technology stuff that you need to know. But don't forget about the things that make you, you, that give you that unique skill set and that a computer or a robot can potentially not redo or not do for you. A huge part of my career and how I got to where I did was because of my public speaking skills. And I know you're all rolling your eyes because I beat this like a dead horse. But the idea is that communication skills, when we're all attached to our smartphones, when we're all using text speak, where we're all kind of backed into this corner where all we know how to do is communicate via pictures, having the ability to give a presentation that is both meaningful, learning, as well as interesting, where no one's falling asleep, is a huge skill to have. So I talk about joining Toastmasters. I talk about really identifying how you could be comfortable doing this. Maybe become a teacher just for a class. See if you have a friend who's a professor like me and would love to have you come up and be a guest speaker so I could rest my voice for a few. Get that idea in place so that you're ready to kind of build your brand and be known for something other than just what maybe a computer can do instead of you. So understand how to do that and understand why it's important. And while you're learning and while you're identifying your soft skills, please know your elevator pitch. Know what it is that's going on in your industry or the industry that you want to join, and know what those applicable things are so that you can actually have a conversation if you run into one of the main people at your company and that's where you want to work. You want to work with that person. Have something ready to say. Have a message. Have this identity where people know of you. Make sure your professionalism and all of that is on display at any moment. And I'm going to talk about that in future blog posts in terms of being a professional and what that means and making sure that people know you for your skills and not for anything else. So I hope this video was helpful. I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. All of my links are going to be here. You can subscribe to this channel, as I think I've finally come to a point where I'm using the technology a little better. I've used KnowMe earlier today to shoot out some quick videos, and it's really cool because it allows me to put other media in, and I could do it all from my smartphone, which as a momtrepreneur who kept our kids home today for the snow day that New York City did not get, it's really important for me to be able to do things on the fly. In fact, I'm just waiting for the door to burst open and the kids to find me. So the idea is that when you're balancing many different things, having the use of technology is awesome. And I hope you guys subscribe to me. And if not, please continue to read my blog, thenextstep1234.com/blog. I put a lot of information there. I put my heart and soul into the content. And I really think that I'm getting somewhere in terms of being a small town person who has a huge amount of world experience and an ability to teach it to those who are interested in learning. So thanks so much and happy